Hi, beloveds. Welcome back. We are doing our Reiki clinic again for this month. And in this month, the theme, as we kind of warm up before we send out healing energy to those who've requested it, or to lay hands on beloveds who come to the clinic for some healing touch. We always have a theme. And so this time I thought we'd play with kind of the word struggle, and reframing that word, because actually for me it is a liberationist word. It's a word of moving through the journey. And the reason I say that, I remember going back to my hometown in Cincinnati some years ago, and they actually have some memorials for folks who were fleeing from the South to the North during the Civil War. And so Black African American folks were in the struggle. And so there were all kinds of songs made about being in the struggle. But being in the struggle for liberationists is not like being in the struggle when you think, oh, this is so hard and I hate it, and that's a different charge. Being in the struggle, kind of like John Lewis talked about, is good trouble, is actually advancing yourself into freedom, or finding freedom, or being on the journey of freedom, or being in the freedom journey. So at any rate, we want to play with the word struggle, because kind of New Age people, especially, all the mindset stuff is absolutely fabulous. And at the same time, we tend to target words that I think are not really helpful because they're necessary. Being in the struggle is necessary. I think of, in these days especially, that the story about Arjuna and Krishna, and how Arjuna went to Krishna and said, Krishna, please tell me, how do I get through this battle? So there was a battle about to happen, and he had family members on one side of the battle, and he had family members on the other side, friends and lovers and acquaintances, people that he cared about, and they were on both sides of the battle. So that was Arjuna's struggle, and Krishna said, well, how you move through the struggle is actually not to be attached to the outcomes. So non-attachment, wow, that's such a big theme word for lots of us, but being free is letting go of the things that we're attached to, and how we need to see the world in a new frame, so that freedom really is about the inner work. So I'll play another idea. So as liberationists like John Lewis, they would always kind of sign their letters or notes to each other, in the struggle. And so it was a way of saying, in community, in consciousness together, we can make a difference for ourselves and for each other, for freedom. Last story that I'm thinking about is just about the word jihad from Islam. So jihad actually is kind of like what Arjuna and Krishna were working with, and that is the inner struggle. And the word jihad actually means the inner warfare, the inner struggle within oneself. So as we think about, what needs to be healed in us so that we can outpicture that into the greater world, because if all of our consciousness is kind of woven together, my liberation is your liberation, or adds to yours. Yours is mine. So the more we come into liberation with each other, then the more we're going to see an outpicturing of that in the world, in our country, in our individual lives. So staying with the struggle, as Islam and Sufis would talk about, is really about integrating or dropping. So my last remark is, as we think about healing ourselves, are you in a place where the struggle is inviting you to integrate all the parts of you? Or is the struggle inviting you to offload something that you no longer need to carry, an old idea, an old concept, an old belief, an old behavior pattern, so that you can move into the freedom journey? So let's be in the struggle together. Namaste.